music by itself has no power without the spirit behind it. Music without spirit and soul is like words that have no meaning. It can be performed completely 100% technically correct, but without the passion and the heart behind it, all it will do is fall flat. One of my favorite quotes is by Johann Sebastian Bach, that I play the notes, but God makes the music. My sister and I grow up in a musical home. My parents both professional musicians. My dad is a clarinetist and my mom is a cellist, and so we both started with piano lessons. But there came a day when we were both asked which instrument that we wanted to play. And for some reason I had the impression that my sister wanted to play the violin because my grandmother had one violin. And so when I knew that and saw my sister kind of thinking maybe she wanted to play the violin, I thought, well, I'd better get busy if I want to inherit that violin. Well, fast forward the clock and I have the violin.
Well, I'm honored, Ken, to be on with Laurie Jean. She performed. She played that violin a few weeks ago at First Baptist. Just rocked that place.
Did you love it?
I've never before seen a violinist get a 2-minute standing ovation.
The principles of playing the violin well and living life well, to me, are one and the same. And, you know, it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes that 10,000 hours of mastery to really learn to play the violin well and be a blessing with it. Just like it takes us, you know, our whole life to really learn that journey of life and being a blessing. And one of the things that I say to my students and I say to myself is, if you're going to mess up big. And that might sound a little bit strange, but what I've come to realize is that it's always best to go at something with all your heart than it is to go at it timidly. Because when you do it with all your heart, even if you mess up, at least you fell down in a noble fashion rather than shrinking back and giving into fear. The mission God has placed me on, I believe, is to communicate His love through the music that He gives me. And when His Holy Spirit takes those praises and inhabits those praises, it has the power to release joy and love and healing and encouragement and any other purpose that God wills for it. The Presence Project has been just an incredibly special project to work on. And one of the things that started it off was when I really didn't know what we were going to call it. In fact, when I first debuted a couple of songs from the project, we didn't have a title for it yet. But when God gave me the title Presence, it totally summed up everything to me that Christmas is about, and really everything that God wanted us to understand about Him sending Jesus to the earth. That He was sending His presence to be in us and around us and with us all of the time, so that we can have strength and so we can have peace and we can have joy and we can have love. And Jesus is the perfect gift. So even the word present, Jesus is that present, but it's His presence that makes a difference in our lives. Many of the arrangement ideas came to me when I would just be walking through my living room on a mission, doing something in my home, and I walk by the piano, which is positioned in a place where I walk by about 50 times a day. And I would just have to stop and make a quick little recording of that idea so that I wouldn't forget it by the time I got a chance to really sit down and work it out. I think one of the biggest blessings in putting this project together was the team of people that I was blessed to work with. I had Doug Pierce's stylistic genius mixed with Robert Elkin's finesse and structure and the blessing of Loop Road Media, which took all of the creative ideas to a new level. The message that finds its deepest place in presence is the fact that God has gifted each person to do something important in His kingdom that brings Him glory and praise. And when His word touches their life, it's just as if my bow is hitting the string and bringing out the most beautiful music. Because when God enables a person to use their gift, it's for the purpose of bringing Him glory. Presence. It's God with us. It all started in a manger in Bethlehem, but it doesn't stop there. Christmas changed everything. Only the presence of Jesus can bring peace in every storm, faith to every impossible situation, and love for every hurting heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. It's not about the presents, it's about his presence.